Hello, this is Mr. Henry, and today we are looking at Lesson 1.1, Describing Patterns. So the essential question for today is, how do I describe patterns using whole number operations? And since it is the first lesson, we need a couple vocabulary. First off, add. Well, to add, we mean we want to combine one thing with another. For example, 2 plus 3 is 5. We're combining 2 of something and 3 of something to get 5 of something. Subtract. To take away an amount. For example, 8 take away 6 leaves us with 2. And finally, with multiply and divide, I just listed some common symbols that are used. For example, the X, the solid filled-in circle, the asterisk, two variables next to each other, parentheses, and for divide, the divide sign, the diagonal slash like used on a computer, as well as 1/2 as a fraction. Okay, so today we're looking at first recognizing patterns. So here we have a pattern 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, and we want to figure out what this pattern is. So first thing we have to do is figure out, well, what operation would this be? Going from one number to the next, to the next, to the next, what are we doing? Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Well, let's see here. To get from 1 to 5, we would have to either add 4 or multiply by 5. So we think it's one of those two. So I'll write that down. We're going to add 4 or multiply times 5. But which one? Well, let's see which of those continues throughout this pattern. So if it's add 4, I'd add 4 here. 4 plus 5 would give us the next, plus 4 would give us the next, plus 4 would give us the next. If it's times 5, 1 times 5, then times 5, times 5, times 5. So let's see which one this is. Plus 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, it seems to work out. 5 plus 4 is 9. Seems to work. Let's continue. If it works for the rest of the terms, that has to be the pattern. 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, and lastly, 13 plus 4 is 17. So if we want to describe this pattern, we could say our operation is add. So we're going to add the previous number by, well, 4. And that is our pattern. Now we can have add, subtract, multiply, or divide. It doesn't really matter. So the pattern here happens to be add by 4. Okay. Now let's see a problem maybe where we have to extend a pattern. So 1, 3, 9, blank, blank, blank. And we want to find the next 3 numbers here. So what should we do? Well, first, let's figure out the pattern that is happening from one number to the next. So let's have that as step 1 off to the side of our note sheet. Step 1 is find the relationship between the first and second numbers. So we're going to find the relationship between the numbers. So if we go back to our problem, from one number to the next, to the next, to the next, well, 1 plus 2, but if I add 2 more, I don't get 9. So it's not plus 2. Maybe multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Times by 3. So to continue the pattern, all you have to do is keep multiplying. So 9 times 3 will give us 27. 27 times 3 is 81. And finally, 81 times 3 is 243. So step 2 would be continue the pattern. Not too bad so far. So, recap. Find the pattern In this case, it was multiplied by 3 to get from one term to the next, to the next, to the next. Once you find the pattern, then you simply continue the pattern. Keep multiplying each term by 3. Alright, now what if we have a visual example, a picture? For example, here. We have a pattern made up of pictures, and we want to continue this pattern. So we have circle, triangle, square, lightning bolt, circle. Well, if it's a pattern, it has to repeat itself. So, circle, triangle, square, lightning bolt. This seems like it's restarting right here. Circle, triangle, square, lightning bolt. Circle, what would be next? Well, triangle, then square, and finally, circle, triangle, square, lightning bolt. Circle, triangle, square, lightning bolt. Alright, not the prettiest lightning bolt, but that is the pattern. So once you find the pattern, to extend it, you just repeat the same pattern over and over again. Okay, this has been Lesson 1, and I hope to see you in Lesson 1.2.